We're all looking, doesn't matter what aspect of life it is, we're all looking for someone who's going to bother and care. It is bothering about details. The majority of these things are, of course, subconscious. That is what really ultimately makes people happy. It started when I was 4 or 5. My father gave me a little toy woodworking set for Christmas. It was a love that had been certainly unearthed in me. In 1971, I made a 6-foot refectory table for myself. A few months later, I was sitting around the table with some family, and we got talking about the table. And someone said, I think other people would like a table like this. That evening, I decided to start a business making furniture. I gave up my job on Christmas Eve that year. On the 6th of January, I arrived in Hungerford to start the business. The first thing was I had to do up the building. It was almost falling down. And I actually opened for business in June 1972, and it changed my life.
This was the original workshop. That's where it all started. And we're very proud of our heritage. Everything we do starts from the very first minute that we meet you, right the way through to the completion of the project. We're there all the time.
It's all about the little things. I call it the 1,000-piece jigsaw. If you want to touch the senses of another person, it's all about extreme detail.
We love to spend time with our clients. We love to really take time to get to know their taste, hopefully visit their home. We always get to tailor what we're designing to suit each client. And then our main aim is to try and distill all of those little nuggets of information and put together a kitchen that just really suits that individual client.
As a child in the 1950s, we went on holiday as a family to Whitstable in Kent. And in that house was a brand new English rose kitchen. Talk about falling in love. It was made of metal. It had these beautiful curved drawer fronts. And I've got the same kitchen in my own house. We've done kitchens all over the world of this type. We call it the creme de la creme. In 1976, I decided to go to the continent. I saw kitchens that I'd never seen in this country. I was totally and utterly inspired by this. 1977, we opened our second showroom, and wow, people beat a path to our door. We do sometimes call ourselves, the pioneers of painted kitchens. We had put a complete new shop front into one of our London showrooms. Day before we were opening, and I was outside, kneeling on the pavement, putting a lot of energy into cleaning this brass sill. And I saw a man walking down, and he sort of stopped in his tracks, and he came back, and he put his hand on my shoulder, and he said, "You must be the most wonderful craftsman." I think what he detected was the energy and the passion And that's what I've always put into the business. And my team of people, whether they're in the workshop or in the showrooms.
We really enjoy being able to devote time to the customer, which they find important.
When I was 12, I made my first workbench, which is here. It's actually in this room now. I got my board of wood, and then I had a vision of cutting it into 3 pieces 4 feet long, and then putting them all together and the ends being perfectly aligned.
The kitchen has to be both pleasant looking, has to be functional, and has to have the style and the character of your own personality. And I think that's one of the things that I've enjoyed about establishing this kitchen, is the being able to put my own personality and that of my wife's onto the kitchen.
I think someone comes to us, and the first thing for us to do is to listen to them.
There's a particular project that springs to mind where we had one painting of the customers that we really wanted to include in the space, with very sort of vivid cornflower blue in the background. So it was a fab thing to be able to pick out different colours from that and then put them through the scheme of the whole kitchen, which made it really, really individual.
One of the features I've enjoyed of designing this kitchen is working with the teams in the showroom. We were presented with beautiful pictures of what the kitchen would actually look like. So the end product was something that's exactly what we wanted.
I think the kitchen is probably the most emotional room in the house. There are things in a kitchen that are going to touch all the 5 human senses, and I think it's our job to try and pull as much of that out as we possibly can. This is my little granddaughter, Leonora. She's 12 weeks old. And it makes me think that at the end of the day, whether it's business or family or people, it's all about bothering and caring and making people happy. In 2 years' time, we'll have been going 50 years, and I'm just so proud that we're standing the test of time.